I would like to know, first off, how you ever got interested in art. You're from Ohio, but not Cincinnati. What part of the state?
Avon Lake, Ohio, up by Lake Erie.
Were you artistic as a kid, coloring with crayons and things?
Yeah, it was just something I always wanted to do. I mean...
Is it run in the family? Anybody else talented?
No, I think it was somewhat... If I was bugging my mom, she'd say, go draw something. And I'd say, what? And she said, well, go draw that house across the street or draw the dog or something like that. And I just started drawing.
Have any of those early pieces survived? Did Mom keep any of those things? I always want to know that. Do you have anything from the real early days?
Probably not the early days. Maybe some from high school.
Mm-hmm. Did you get support from teachers at school?
Yeah, like that was my favorite class, art. That's kind of much what I lived for.
They probably recognized it too, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. It's that thing that you always kind of excel in one thing, and that was kind of what I excelled in. Sometimes they didn't give you exactly what you wanted. You wanted even more, and they were just wanting to do something simple to entertain you, and you wanted more.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite medium? What do you do mostly?
Now I'm into oils. Oil on canvas board. I worked in acrylic for a long time. I did watercolor, kind of made full circle back to oils, and now I'm back in oils.
Mm-hmm. And you have taught at UC, and you probably will teach at UC again. What do you see in the crop of students and in the young kids these days? Do you see a lot of talent out there?
The classes I teach are more digital classes, digital art, and it's kind of amazing, really, where that you do see some of the talent. You'd think that some of your most talented students would be in more of the art classes, but actually, one of my most, I thought, phenomenal students was actually in construction, and he took the class, and he had the insight way beyond his years, and he could articulate it verbally, a lot of the what was going on with art, which is sometimes hard for the artists to do because they're usually nonverbal. But yeah, there's plenty of talent out there.
Wait, now this construction student, was it a surprise to him that he possessed that kind of talent?
Yeah, I think it was.
Did you have to make it known to him?
I think it became aware. He became aware of it. Those are the two things I always wanted to do, was to do my art and to teach. Mm-hmm. So being able to teach was a really nice satisfaction.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Columbus College of Art and Design. Mm-hmm. Milton Glaser always said that he learned so much from his students, and I really found that out too. I think they opened me up to a lot of things that I might not have seen otherwise. And
how long have you been affiliated with the Middletown Center?
They just contacted me pretty much out of the blue. They heard about me from the Fenton Center, which is in Hamilton, and they loved my work. They all loved it. It was really nice to hear how excited they were about it. And then they got a hold of me, and we talked and worked up the show that's starting in January.
What are you going to be showing? How many pieces, and what are we going to look forward to seeing?
There's like 30 pieces, just over 30 pieces. Half the show is my gray period.
Explain.
And then half of mine is my color period. The gray period is kind of Picasso had his blue period, so I had my gray period.
Gray period sounds depressing.
I think it kind of was, actually.
Was it?
But it wasn't really depressing pieces of art. I think some really good things come out of your hard times. They were done right after I got divorced, actually. And
well, does it actually signify the color gray? I mean, is there a lot of gray in this?
They are gray. If you see on my website, they're gray with little accents of color, and they're road scenes. So most of them are like if you're driving down the road, what you see looking out your front window of your car. And all of us are familiar with that look. But some of it is like how scary that can be also, and how intimidating that can be when the rain's coming down so strong, you could barely see in front of you. Sometimes those trucks, those big, huge semis, want to hover right around you and just feel like you're just locked in, like you can't go anywhere, that anxiety that you feel. And then some of them are just open roads, or sometimes even just a huge semi that's all you see in your rear mirror, bearing down on you, and you know you better get moving or else you won't be there. So I think it's a lot of
Well, now it's
the anxieties that you feel driving.
It's impossible for you to be driving and sketching at the same time. Is this all from memory, or is it from being a passenger and sketching, or how do you get these images?
Well, I have a digital camera that I use, and it's a Nikon SLR camera. And it's amazing how well you can drive looking through a camera lens and clicking. I was coming back from Michigan is when I first started the series. I was coming back from a plein air painting group. Well, I was with the Indiana plein air painters at the time. And we went up there to paint lighthouses. And I was coming back through the storm, and it just seemed so, I don't know, I guess moving. And I started taking these pictures, these random pictures, not trying to make anything so perfect. And so a lot of the work is very intentionally crude to almost show the artist, I guess, in a sense, and how he feels. And I wrote a poem about it and things like that too, which is, we're all kind of on the same road, just like we're all on the same highway. But sometimes we know as much about the guy in the car next to us as we know about our next door neighbor. So I made some parallels, and some of my poems are in my work that'll be at the show.
So there are a number from the Gray period. Are there other paintings from different periods?
Well, the Gray period is about 15 paintings of this, what I'm calling On the Road series. So they're all these road paintings of cars and trucks, no people. Mm-hmm. Then the next piece is I have our 3 paintings, which are called keepsake portraits. And still in the Gray style, just an accent of color here and there just to draw you to those points. Those are kind of like what I figured a new way to do a portrait. You can't tell a book by its cover, the old saying. So when you do a portrait of somebody, you're kind of getting the cover, because you're showing their nose and, maybe they have some kind of distinction in that. But I thought, well, what about doing a portrait of their found objects, the things that they keep in that drawer? And it seems like everybody I know has a junk drawer. Mm-hmm. And taking these pieces that are in a junk drawer and then making a collage, and somehow that the things that we keep, even in the haste of life, and we throw into this junk drawer because we're either too busy to make this decision about what we should keep and what we should throw out, or for some reason this object has some endearing quality to it that we want to keep, and then to assemble those pieces into a composition and do a painting of it to tell a little bit more about that person than you would have got just by doing the book cover, in a sense. I paralleled that a little bit to my dad, that I felt that I didn't really know that well. But I knew him more by his keepsakes of what he kept in his... he didn't really have a junk drawer. He was too organized for that. Had a little box with a couple combs, tie clips, and things like that, and some fingernail clippers. But
so are your portraits of the junk or of the people or both?
It's the junk.
Oh, okay.
So there are all these found objects, like I said, in the haste of life, that you grab these things and you throw them into this drawer because you think you're going to get back to them, but you never come back to it. Mm-hmm. Or maybe that's the stuff you scrape off the top of your dresser because you're tired of looking at it all and it ends up in this drawer. Mm-hmm. But after years and years, all this stuff accumulates. And then going through with anyone that would want to have me do a portrait like that, of selecting the objects that they feel, oh, Dad, this